Okay, now I'll show you something, show you some of my indicators, what I call indicators. I got the idea of using indicators for the sake of being efficient. Korzybski said it's good to think in terms of gradients, so I thought I would make what I call gradient indicators, where I would put dots or other marks in certain positions near an indicator, and it would show the degree of the quality or whatever. Okay, a dot high on the right means high degree. There is my, I use an I for important, and that is what I call a cheat it. I'm cheating by using a letter of the alphabet to make it easy to remember. Then I rationalize that with the idea that it looks like a pillar, and a pillar is supportive, and I think it's a pretty good metaphor for importance. I've made other ideograms for important, but I come back to this because it's so easy. Uh, High, low, very, not very. Those, of course, graphic opposites. Hot, cold, that's supposed to be a thermometer. Not very graphic, but I can make it more graphic. That's fire there, and it's supposed to be an ice cube. Very good, of course, would be excellent. Sometimes I actually put a couple of pluses, which is what I use to show intensity. And it's kind of funny that that's like a double plus good in George Orwell's Newspeak. And a single dot at the top for superlative, best, the bottom, worst. That's good and bad. Most important. Okay, and here is a small square I use as a position indicator. In, on, over, under, etc. Top, that would be inside top. Bottom, inside bottom, outside bottom. I remember once when I was into welding, I making big storage tanks, and once I think the foreman said to weld something on the bottom of the tank, and actually I don't remember if it was I who did it or somebody else, but I thought it was kind of interesting when they said bottom. We thought, or I thought, it was he meant the outside bottom of the tank, but he actually meant the inside bottom. There's another position indicator in terms of front and back, or forward, forepart, rear part, etc. Rear, behind, maybe. Okay, and this is what I came up with for good or bad. And I thought at first that I would just put my dots here, but I think it doesn't work well to have contradictory elements in an ideogram. So I ended up breaking it apart into separate good and bad. Okay. This is my indicator for things with anything with a beginning and end. So one of my ideograms for new that I don't use anymore. Begin, I could have the arrow up here, just circle around this first part for beginning. Start, that little part right in there is sudden. Beginning and life, there's a person above beginning and age, etc. 2D space, 3D space. So as you can see there, that would be a 2D circle, whereas that would be with the 3D indicator would be a sphere. I think in a circle around my 3D indicator is what I have for space. The square around the 3D indicator is room. It seems to work pretty well. There's my color indicator, white, black, red, the drop shape, dark drop shape is blood. There's my blue, it's with sky in the middle. That's a hieroglyph for sky. And generality, specificity. So there's an apple, and then in general, that kind of thing would be fruit. This is my ideogram for abstract, which I got from Korzybski. There's general, and these are threads hanging down to show that when you abstract, things are left out. Kind, use that a lot. Bell curve for chance. And then for things that I use this for things near the center of the bell curve, or things that would happen more often. And that's order there. So that would be ordinary. That's rule, regular. Normal, that's a norm is actually from the Latin norma, carpenter's square, so that's also correct. Common, and then something out toward the edge would be something occurring less often. Strange. Weird is related to the German word werden, to become. And there's what I use for probability. Okay. Okay, and here's some more indicators. This is actually, I use this for two, but I also use it just to show travel in general. Cruise, drive, there's a car, go by car. There's my, it's my distance indicator, but I also use it now for a time indicator. It's ambiguous, distance or time. Near, neighbor, that's a person who is near. Far, close, I use the little diddle marks. I do use them to indicate repetition, but I also use them to show a very short distance. Remote, that's my element for motion right there, or my ideogram for motion, move. Okay, I already went over importance. This is my globality indicator, which I like quite a bit. Universe, one turn, there's a turn right there. World, there's the Earth, and with the globality indicator around it, world. Context, text means to weave. Environment, no, I don't like that. I don't use that anymore. I guess I use this for environment. There's the hieroglyph for life, the Ankh, with the globality indicator around it for environment. Okay. House part indicator, it's kind of nifty. Floor, wall, roof, etc. Measure, I actually use something different for how, in the sense of how much. And I use this measure for the sense of, for the suffixes ness or itty, like in darkness or happiness or something like that. Noun cap. Let's see. Pedestal, for anything that is elevated in dignity or honored, put on a pedestal. To indicate honor, social elevation, honor, dignity. That's some personal quality indicator. They're actually just a kind of person. Container. Full, fill. I usually use something different for fill nowadays. Much. Enough. That's a case where the heavy dot shows completion. Amount, that has mountain in it. Inner quality. That's feel or feeling, which is an abbreviation of this or this. Will, intend. A large triangle for a size indicator. I use that once in a while. Okay, and I have a lot of other indicators. Some more light in here. Um, yeah, I use the the I for important because I've made some other ones like this, which uses my element for heavy, and it would be like the German German word for important, wichtig, heavy. And it involves my ideogram for most, which divides an oval into a larger part and a smaller part. Um, let's see, and related to putting a dot high on the right for a high degree of something, if I put a minus sign high on the right, it shows that there's a high degree of something and it is a negative thing. So that would mean two in the sense of too much or too high a degree, an excessive high degree of or over. So there, that would be too much. There's work with the negative sign up here would be overwork. There's eat, overeat. Then a dot over at the top of something shows a superlative. There's best, and the dot on the up high on the left shows Greek. So this is best end, which is Aristotle, Christos best and telos end. I've always thought that was kind of nifty that I could make Aristotle so well. That's more, better. ER would be more. I used to use a little arrow. Another way I have showing the ER more is to put it on a step up. Worse would be or less would be the opposite. There's my begin end indicator, and this oval, which is rather like an egg at the beginning, is what I use for new. And that would be new in the sense of just having come into existence. This is another new for the sense of, in contrast to the old one. Like my new car is better than my old one, or the new boss is much nicer than the old boss. Old would be, it's kind of hard to do while I'm looking into the cell phone. That would be old. Okay. I got a new car. I got a new car. Okay. In this case, the new car would be a brand new one. In this case, I got a new car would be in contrast to my old car. Maybe my new car in this case is used, but it's new to me. Okay, I already went over this. Normal. Okay, distance and timeline. It's ambiguous, so that actually works pretty well, having that ambiguity. That would be this kind of like upside down T is my usual time indicator, and that would be one way to write now, but I could also write now like that, or maybe just a dot in the middle of the line. It's what I have for goal, which I like a lot. Okay, how. Here's what I use for, here's how in the sense of what way. Oh, and way is just a long arrow. In what way, how. And here's how in the sense of degree, like how tall are you, or something like that. This is what I have for resource. That's use with a container behind it, something you're using, taking from a container. X is a thing. And I use, for short, I use container often to indicate a resource, and that works very, very well. Here's another indicator, fork, that I use. I just actually thought up recently that I really like. It works well. Decide your thinking, and it's like a fork in your thinking, and you're deciding on something. It's completed. Similar to that, there's with I, it would mean to tell, like tell the difference between something, or discern. So a heavy dot I often use to mean completion or rival. Accomplish, succeed. get in the sense of completion, like, or arrival, when I get home, or it got dark, versus get, there's continue above change, which would mean a gradual getting, like it is getting dark. And there's get in a certain sense of acquiring.